Welcome to my channel, Bookish English. What if I told you that just one story can teach you how to read, speak, and think in English, like a native? You don't need grammar books. You don't need hundreds of lessons. You just need one simple story. Stay with me, and I will show you how. Comment below. Have you ever tried learning English from a story? Let me know. And if you enjoy learning this way, I'd be truly grateful if you could subscribe. It means a lot and helps me keep sharing these simple, helpful lessons with you. Chapter 1. One story changed everything. I was sitting in my room late at night. The books were open. My notebook was full of words I couldn't remember. I had grammar rules in front of me, but they felt heavy. My head hurt. My heart was tired. I asked myself, is this the only way to learn English? I didn't feel excited. I didn't feel confident. I felt lost. Then, something happened. I opened a website, just for fun. There, I saw a very short story. Only 5 lines. Simple words. Easy sentences. But something about it caught my eye. I read it once. Then I read it again. Then again. My eyes followed the words. My lips moved. I spoke each line softly. And then I felt it. For the first time, I understood everything. Not just the meaning, but the feeling. The story made me smile. It made me think. It made me speak. The story was about a little boy who lost his red balloon. He looked for it everywhere. At the end, he found it floating in the sky. He smiled and said, "It's waiting for me." Just 5 lines, but they changed me. I stood up and said the sentences again, this time louder, clearer. I looked in the mirror. I said them again. I was speaking English, not from a grammar rule, not from a textbook, from a story. And I felt something new, confidence. That night I didn't study any new words. I didn't learn a grammar rule, but I learned something more powerful. One story is enough. If you use it the right way, it can teach you reading. It can teach you speaking. It can even change the way you think. The next day, I printed the story. I kept it in my pocket. I took it everywhere. To school, to the bus, to the park. I read it again and again. I whispered it when I walked. I said it out loud when I was alone. I acted it out. I made faces like the boy in the story. I imagined myself looking for that red balloon. I made the story mine. That's when something amazing started to happen. English was no longer just a subject. It became a part of me. I wasn't memorizing anymore. I was living the language. I started thinking, what if I do this with more stories? What if one story, just one, can be my teacher? So I tried, and it worked. Not because the stories were long or difficult, but because they were alive. From that one story, I learned how to read with feeling. I learned how to speak with rhythm. I learned how to think without translating. And slowly, I started becoming fluent, not by learning more, but by going deeper. That's what I want for you. In this video, I will show you exactly how to do it, step by step. We will use one story. We will explore it together. And by the end, you will not just read it. You will speak it. You will think with it. and you will believe in yourself. So, take a deep breath. Forget the grammar rules for a moment. Forget the big words. Let's start small. Let's start with one story, because sometimes one story is all you need to change everything. Chapter 2. How to Read with Feeling, Not Just Words. The next morning I sat on my bed with that story in my hands. I had already read it many times, but now I wanted something more. I didn't want to just read the words. I wanted to feel them. I wanted to bring the story to life. So I looked at the first line. The boy lost his red balloon. I didn't just say it. I imagined it. I saw the boy in my mind. I saw him looking up, his eyes wide, his hand reaching out. I read it slowly, like I was the boy. I felt the sadness in the sentence. I said it again, but this time softer, then louder, then like a whisper. Each time it felt new. That was the moment I realized something. Reading is not about speed. It's about connection. When you feel the sentence, you remember it, you understand it, and you love it. I read the second line. He looked behind trees, under cars, and inside boxes. I smiled. The words were simple, but they painted a picture in my head. I saw the boy running. I saw him searching, and I felt his hope. I didn't use a dictionary. I didn't worry about grammar. I just followed the boy. You see, when you read with feeling, the words stay with you. You don't forget them. They become part of you. That's what I want you to do. Take one story. Read it slowly. Feel every line. Imagine it. Act it out if you want. Say it with emotion. This is not childish. This is how your brain learns best. I read the story 5 times that morning. Each time, I changed something. One time, I read it like I was telling it to a friend. Another time, I read it like it was happening to me. Then I read it like I was telling it to a little child. I even read it like I was performing on stage. Every time, I discovered something new. Reading like this is powerful. It makes the story alive. And when the story is alive, the language becomes real. You don't forget it. You don't need to study it. It stays with you. That day, I walked to school with the story in my head. I didn't have the paper, but I could remember every word. Why? Because I had felt the words. I had lived them. I want you to try this. Choose one small story. It can be about anything. A balloon, a dog, a rainy day. Read it 5 times. Each time change your voice, change your emotion. Read it happy, read it sad, read it fast, read it slow. And don't just use your voice, use your heart. Reading like this is not just reading. It's practice for speaking. It's training for thinking. It's a secret way to become fluent without stress. I didn't know it back then, but I was building something strong. My mouth was learning the shapes of English. My ears were learning the music. My brain was building English inside me, one story at a time. So don't read like a student. Read like a storyteller. Read like a dreamer. Feel the words. Live the story. That's how you begin to change. Now, we've read the story, we've felt the story, but the next step is even more powerful. Speaking the story out loud. And in the next chapter, I'll show you exactly how to do it, even if you're shy, even if you're scared, even if you've never spoken a word before. So keep watching. The real magic is just beginning. Chapter 3. Speak the story, don't just say it. The first time I tried to speak English, my voice was small. My lips were tight. I was scared. I had the story in my hand, but the words felt heavy in my mouth. I thought, what if I say it wrong? I looked around. No one was there. Still, I was nervous. But I remembered something. This is just a story. It's not a test. It's not a school exam. It's a little story about a boy and a balloon. And I liked that story. So I took a deep breath. I looked at the first line, and I said it out loud. The boy lost his red balloon. At first, it didn't sound right. My voice didn't feel strong, but I didn't stop. I said it again, and again, slowly, then faster, then with feeling. The second line, he looked behind trees, under cars and inside boxes. This time, I didn't just speak. I moved my body. I pretended to look behind trees. I crawled like I was looking under a car. I peeked into boxes. I acted the story. I was the boy. And suddenly, I wasn't scared anymore. I was having fun. That's the secret. Speaking English doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be real. You don't need big words. You just need to speak what you feel. I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at myself. I smiled. I spoke the whole story from start to end. I used my hands. I used my eyes. I said every word with meaning. I felt like an actor. But this was not a show. This was my practice. You can do this too. You don't need a class. You don't need a partner. Just a story, a mirror, and your voice. Speak the story, not just once, many times. Speak it in the morning. Speak it at night. Speak it while you walk. Speak it when you're alone. This is how fluency starts. Sometimes I made mistakes. Sometimes I forgot a word, but I didn't stop. I didn't worry. Because I was learning. I was growing. And every time I spoke, I became stronger. The story became my daily speaking practice. I didn't wait for the perfect time. I didn't wait for someone to correct me. I just spoke. And the more I spoke, the easier it got. One day, I recorded myself. I listened to my voice. It sounded strange at first, but then I smiled. I could hear English. I could hear the rhythm. I could hear the story. That was the moment I believed in myself. Speaking the story helped me in many ways. It trained my tongue. It improved my pronunciation. It built my memory. It gave me courage. And it made English feel natural. You don't have to say big things. Just say small things, clearly. Say them with feeling. Say them again and again. That's how babies learn. That's how I learned. That's how you will learn too. So today, I want you to do something simple. Take one story, stand in front of a mirror, look at yourself, and speak. Don't worry about grammar. Don't worry about accent. Just speak. Like you're telling it to a friend. Like you're living the story. This is not just practice. This is transformation. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how I used the same story to listen like a child. How I trained my ears. how I made English sound normal, and how that helped me speak even better. So don't stop now. The story is just beginning. Chapter 4. Listen like a child learns. I used to think listening was just about hearing words, but I was wrong. Real listening is about feeling. It's about hearing the music of a language, the ups and downs, the fast and slow, the soft and strong. Babies don't know grammar, they don't know vocabulary, but they listen. They listen every day for hours. That's how they learn. Slowly, naturally, without stress. I wanted to do the same. I took the same short story, the one about the boy and the red balloon, and I found an audio version online. It was read by a native speaker, soft, clear, and slow. I put in my earphones, I closed my eyes, and I just listened. No notebook, no dictionary, just the sound. At first, I didn't catch every word, but I didn't care. I let the voice play again, then again, then again. I started noticing things. The way the speaker said, "The boy lost his red balloon," slow at the start, gentle at the end. I could hear the sadness in his voice. He looked behind trees, under cars, and inside boxes. The rhythm changed. It was faster, more playful. I felt the boy's energy. I was listening, not just to words, but to emotions. I listened 5 times on the first day, 10 times on the second. Sometimes I listened while walking, sometimes while brushing my teeth. I wasn't studying. I was absorbing, just like a child. On the 3rd day, something amazing happened. I didn't need to think. I could repeat the words as I heard them. My mouth moved naturally. My ears knew what was coming next. English didn't feel strange anymore. It felt like music I could dance to. That's when I started shadowing, speaking just a little behind the speaker, not thinking, just copying, like an echo. I'll tell you more about that in the next chapter. But for now, just focus on this. Deep listening is powerful. You don't need many stories. You just need one. And you need to listen to it a lot. I used to listen to random English videos. I didn't understand much. I felt tired. But with this story, it was different. I knew the meaning. I had read it. I had spoken it. Now I was listening to it. Everything connected. And the best part? I wasn't bored. I was listening to a story I liked. It was short. It had feeling. I could imagine it while listening. And the more I listened, the better my pronunciation became. The better my memory became. The more confident I felt. If you want to train your ears like a baby, here's what to do. Choose one simple story. Find the audio. Or record yourself reading it. Listen to it 5 times a day. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. Just listen. Let your brain do the work. Let your ears get used to the sounds. Over time, you will start hearing new things, words, expressions, feelings. English will no longer sound like noise. It will sound like meaning. You don't need 100 stories. You don't need fancy materials. Just one story, one voice, and your attention. So now, you've read the story, spoken the story, and listened to the story. What's next? the most powerful step of all, thinking in English with the story. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how I trained my brain to stop translating, and how you can too, with just one simple story. Keep going. You're doing something amazing. Chapter 5. Think in English with one story. Thinking in English used to feel impossible for me. Every time I wanted to say something, my brain worked like a translator. First, I thought in my language. Then I searched for English words. By the time I found the right words, the moment was gone. I stayed quiet. I felt slow. I felt stuck. But everything changed with one story. I already knew the story well. I had read it, spoken it, and listened to it. Now I wanted to take the next step. I wanted to think in English. I didn't know how to do it. But one day, something happened. I was brushing my teeth. The story came to my mind. I didn't call it. It just appeared. I saw the boy. I saw the red balloon. And in my head, I heard the sentence, "The boy lost his red balloon." I didn't translate it. I just thought it. It felt small, but it was big. It was the first time I thought in English, without trying. That day, I started playing with the story in my head. I was walking to school, and I asked myself, "Where is the boy going?" I answered in English, "He is looking for the balloon." Then I asked, "How does he feel?" I said, "He is sad, but he hopes to find it." All in English, all in my mind. I wasn't studying, I was thinking. And that was the trick. I used the story like a game. I didn't open a book. I didn't sit at a desk. I just used small moments. Walking, washing dishes, lying in bed. I repeated the lines. I changed the lines. I asked questions. I answered them. I imagined new parts of the story. What if the balloon was blue? What if it flew to the mountains? What if the boy cried? I made my brain play in English. At first, I only did this with the same 5 sentences. But soon, my mind wanted more. I added new sentences, small ones. I talked about my day using the story. I lost my pen just like the boy lost his balloon. It became a part of me. Thinking in English doesn't mean saying big, smart things. It means using small sentences again and again, inside your mind. No fear, no grammar rules, no pressure. You can start today. Here's how. Take your story. Read it again in the morning. Then, during the day, let it come back to you. Say the first line in your head, then ask yourself something about it. Answer in English. Don't worry about mistakes. No one can hear your thoughts. This is your safe space. Do this while walking, while cooking, while waiting in line. Think of the story like a friend who walks with you. Talk to it. Play with it. Make it fun. The more you do it, the faster your brain will stop translating. English will become natural. You won't even notice it. But one day, you'll be thinking in English and you'll smile. That's what happened to me. So, stop waiting for the right time. Stop trying to be perfect. Start thinking with one small story. It's not just practice. It's brain training. It's magic. And now, it's time to learn a technique that changed everything for me. Shadowing. It helped me speak fast, understand better, and sound like a native. In the next chapter, I'll teach you how to use shadowing with this same story and how it can speed up your fluency faster than you imagine. Keep going. This journey is working. Chapter 6. The Shadowing Method. The Game Changer. I remember the first time I tried shadowing. I had no idea what it was. I read the word online, shadowing. It sounded cool but strange. The article said, just copy the audio, speak with it, just a little behind. I was curious. I already had my story. I had listened to it many times. I knew every line. I knew how it sounded. So I decided to try. I pressed play. The voice said, "The boy lost his red balloon." I waited half a second. Then I said it too. "The boy lost his red balloon." I tried to match the voice, the sound, the speed, the feeling. It felt funny at first. I wasn't used to speaking that way. My voice was behind the audio. It felt like chasing someone in a race. But I didn't stop. I played the second line. He looked behind trees, under cars, and inside boxes. I repeated it, just behind the voice. I tried to copy the rise and fall. I tried to feel the rhythm. I was not just speaking English. I was performing it. And something amazing happened. After a few minutes, I could feel my mouth moving faster. My brain didn't have time to think in my own language. I had to follow the voice. I had to stay close. And that's the magic of shadowing. It forces your brain to stop translating. It pushes you to think, speak, and feel English all at the same time. That day, I shadowed the full story 10 times. I stood in front of the mirror. I looked at my lips. I copied the speaker's emotion. If he sounded sad, I sounded sad. If he sounded happy, I smiled too. I was not just learning pronunciation. I was learning expression. I was learning flow. Every day, I shadowed the same story. 5 minutes in the morning, 5 minutes before sleep. I didn't need a classroom. I didn't need a partner. I just needed the story and my voice. That's it. After 1 week, my mouth felt stronger. My words came out faster. I didn't pause so much. I started noticing patterns, how words connected, how some sounds disappeared, how some were stretched. My listening improved, my speaking improved, my confidence grew. I didn't sound like a robot. I sounded human. Here's how you can do it too. Choose a short story you like. One with audio. If you can't find it, record your own voice reading it. Listen to one sentence. Pause and repeat it. Try to match the voice. Then, play a full line and speak along with it, half a second behind. Don't pause the audio. Keep going. Don't worry about mistakes. Just keep moving, like a shadow. In the beginning, it will be hard. Your tongue will feel slow. Your breath may feel short. But don't give up. This is not a test. This is a powerful practice. Do this every day. Even 5 minutes can help. You will see changes in your sound, in your speed, in your confidence. Shadowing is not acting. It's not pretending. It's the closest thing to real-life speaking, without pressure. You're not just learning English. You're becoming English. So don't just read the story. Don't just listen. Speak with it. breathe with it, feel with it. And now that you've mastered shadowing, let's take it to the next level. In the next chapter, I'll show you how I turned this one story into 100 real English sentences, and how you can too. This is where your English starts to grow like never before. Let's keep going. Chapter 7. Turn one story into 100 sentences. It started with just one story, 5 simple lines. But I wanted more. I didn't want to stop at speaking or shadowing. I wanted to use that story to grow my English like a tree, with many branches, many sentences. So I asked myself one small question. Can I make 100 sentences from this one story? The answer was yes. I sat down with a notebook. I looked at the first line. The boy lost his red balloon. I closed my eyes and thought, what can I ask about this? I wrote, who is the boy? Then I answered, he is a small boy. That's one sentence. Then, what did he lose? I wrote, he lost his balloon. 2 sentences. I kept going. What color was the balloon? It was red. Why was he sad? Because he lost it. The questions kept coming, and every answer was a new sentence. Soon I had 10, then 20. I wasn't memorizing. I was creating. The second line gave me even more. He looked behind trees, under cars, and inside boxes. I asked, where did he look? He looked behind trees. Did he find the balloon? No, he didn't. Was he tired? Maybe he was. I even started adding ideas. The boy ran fast. He didn't give up. He wanted his balloon back. Each question opened a new door, and each sentence was simple, short, and clear. You don't need big grammar books to make sentences. You just need curiosity. You just need to ask questions like a child. Who? What? Where? Why? How? The story became a tool, a playground, a place to build my own English. And I was the builder. Every sentence I made came from me. It wasn't from a textbook. It wasn't from a teacher. It was my voice, my thoughts, my practice. And the best part? I could do this any time. On the bus, before sleep, while drinking tea. I didn't need a classroom. I didn't need anyone to correct me. I was free. I also started mixing sentences. I changed them. The boy lost his blue balloon. The girl lost her red balloon. He found the balloon behind the tree. She looked inside the box. I created new mini-stories from the old one. This kind of practice made my brain fast. It made my speaking easier. The sentences became automatic. I didn't have to stop and think so much. The words just came. One day, I met someone new. They asked me a question in English. I answered without fear. Why? Because I had already said that kind of sentence 100 times in my room from my story. You can do the same. Take your story, look at each line, ask questions, answer them, change the people, change the places, change the objects, and write it down if you want, or say it out loud, or think it in your head. Make it a game, a challenge. Can you make 100 sentences from one story? I believe you can, and when you do, you won't just be a learner. You'll be a creator, a builder of real English. You'll stop waiting for someone to teach you. You'll teach yourself. And now, get ready for the next secret. In the next chapter, I'll show you the emotion trick. The reason I remember every word from that story, even now. This is the most powerful method I know for remembering English without effort. Stay with me. You're almost there. Chapter 8. The Emotion Trick. Remember every word. I used to forget English words. I would learn them today, and by tomorrow they were gone. I tried writing them again and again. I tried using flashcards, but they didn't stay. I felt frustrated. I thought something was wrong with me. But the problem wasn't my brain. The problem was how I was learning. The words were just sounds to me. They had no meaning, no feeling, no story. Until I discovered the emotion trick. It happened by accident. I was reading the same story, the one about the boy and the red balloon. I had read it many times. I had spoken it, shadowed it, and made sentences from it. But now, I wanted to feel it deeper. So I closed my eyes and thought about the boy. I imagined him as me. I saw myself as a child. I remembered the time I lost my toy car in the park. I cried. I searched everywhere. And suddenly, the story wasn't just a story anymore. It was my memory. That's when everything changed. I took the first line. The boy lost his red balloon. I said it again, but this time, I felt the sadness. I remembered how I felt when I lost something I loved. That sentence stayed in my heart. It wasn't just a line from a story. It was my line. Then I looked at the second line. He looked behind trees, under cars, and inside boxes. I imagined myself looking under a bed, calling my dog's name, feeling worried. That feeling helped me remember the sentence, easily, naturally. I did the same for every line. I added emotion. I added imagination. I changed the boy's name. I made him my younger brother. I imagined myself helping him. We were running together, searching for the balloon. It became our story. That's the emotion trick. Connect the words to your feelings, to your life. When you do that, the words are no longer just words. They become part of your heart, and your heart remembers what your brain forgets. After that, I never needed to memorize the story again. It stayed with me, not for a day, but for years. Even now, I can say it without looking, because it's not just on paper, it's inside me. You can use the emotion trick too. Here's how. Take one sentence. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, when did I feel like this? If the story says, the boy was sad, think of a time when you were sad. Add a face, add a place, add a moment from your life. If the sentence is, he found the balloon, think of a time when you found something you lost. Feel the joy, feel the surprise, then speak the sentence again, this time with feeling. You can also use imagination. If you don't have a memory, make one. Imagine a story around the story. Add colors, sounds, people, places. Make it alive. And when you do this, your brain becomes sticky. It holds on to the words, because the words now mean something to you. This is why stories work better than lists. Stories carry emotion. Emotion makes memory stronger. So stop learning English with your head only. Use your heart too. Feel the story. Become the story. Live the story. And in the next chapter, I'll show you how I used this one story to create my own story. How I took simple sentences and made them personal. This step made me confident. It made me feel like a real English speaker. You'll love it. Keep going. You're almost there. Chapter 9. Create your own story from the first one. Now it was time to do something I had never done before. I had read the story. I had listened, spoken, shadowed, and thought with it. I had turned it into 100 sentences. I had added emotions and made it part of my life. But now, I wanted to create something new. I wanted to write my own story, using the same idea, the same style, the same feeling. I was scared at first. I thought, I'm just a learner. I'm not ready. But then I remembered. I knew the story. I understood it. I had lived it. And if I could feel it, I could change it. So I took a pencil. I wrote one line. The girl lost her yellow kite. That was it. One small change. Boy became girl. Balloon became kite. Red became yellow. It was still the same story, but also new. My story. Then I wrote the second line. She looked on the roof, in the trees, and under the bed. I smiled. The places were different, but the feeling was the same. She was still searching, like the boy, like me. Line by line, I built a new version. She sat down. She felt tired. Then she saw it, flying high in the sky. She laughed. It's waiting for me, she said. I read it out loud. It sounded real. It sounded mine. And that feeling that I had created something in English was the best feeling of all. You can do this too. Don't worry about making a long story. Don't worry about grammar. Just start small. Take the first sentence from the original story. Change one word, then change another. Maybe the boy becomes a dog. Maybe the balloon becomes a shoe. Maybe he doesn't lose something. Maybe he finds something. There are no rules. This is your story. You can write about a rainy day, a lost toy, a missing sock, a magic book, or a dream. You can write about yourself, your friend, or someone you imagine. Keep the structure simple. Keep the words short, just like the first story. After writing, read it out loud, slowly. Then again. Add feeling. Add pauses. Smile while reading. This is your English. You made it. And here's the best part. You can now use your story the same way you used the first one. Read it, speak it, shadow it, think about it, ask questions, make sentences, use the emotion trick. You now have a second teacher, your own creation. I remember the first time I shared my story with a friend. They listened and said, "Wow, you made this?" I said yes, in English, and they smiled. I felt proud. I felt free. I wasn't just copying anymore. I was creating. You don't need to be advanced to write in English. You don't need perfect grammar. You just need one story to start. Then you make it your own. one sentence at a time. So now, take your story. Write your version. Use your life. Use your dreams. And if you like, share it in the comments. I would love to read it. And now, it's time for the final chapter. In the next one, I'll give you a full 30-day plan, how to use this one story every day in new ways to become fluent, confident, and free in English. You've come so far. Let's finish strong. Chapter 10. Use one story for 30 days. See the change. This is the final step, the most powerful one. You've done so much already. You read the story. You spoke it. You listened, shadowed, thought with it. You made new sentences. You added emotion. You even wrote your own version. Now, it's time to bring it all together. I call it the one story, 30 days plan. Yes, just one story, the same one, every day. But each day we will use it in a new way. You won't get bored. You'll get better, I promise. This is the plan I used, and it changed everything. Week 1, get close to the story. Day 1, read the story slowly 5 times, out loud. Day 2, listen to the audio. Close your eyes. Just feel the sound. Day 3, speak the story while reading. Use feeling in your voice. Day 4, shadow the story. Follow the audio half a second behind. Day 5, think with the story. Repeat lines in your mind while walking or sitting. Day 6, ask simple questions about the story and answer in English. Day 7, use the emotion trick. Connect each line with your memory or imagination. By the end of the first week, the story will live in your heart. Week 2, grow the story. Day 8, change small words and make a new version. Day 9, write 10 new sentences based on the story. Day 10, act the story. Use your body. Pretend you are the character. Day 11, tell the story to a friend or record yourself. Day 12, write a new ending. What happens next? Day 13, ask what if questions. What if it rained? What if he never found the balloon? Day 14, say the story to yourself without reading. From memory, feel it. You are now building your fluency. You're speaking from your mind. Week 3, deep practice. Day 15, translate the story into your language, then back into English. Day 16, focus on pronunciation. Record and compare. Day 17, shadow again, but faster this time. Push yourself. Day 18, write 20 questions and answers using the story. Day 19, speak the story in different emotions: happy, sad, excited, angry. Day 20, write a journal entry as if you are the character. Day 21, tell the story while looking in the mirror. Be confident. Smile. You are no longer a beginner. You are now a user of English. Week 4, live the story. Day 22, watch a video with similar vocabulary. Notice the words. Day 23, sing the story. Yes, make a song out of it. Make it fun. Day 24, teach the story to someone else. Day 25, Make a comic or drawing about the story. Day 26. Write a full paragraph about your feelings about the story. Day 27. Try to speak about the story without stopping for 1 full minute. Day 28. Mix 2 stories together, yours and the original. Day 29. Say the story from the other person's view. Be creative. Day 30. Record a video of yourself telling the story your way. Watch it. Smile. This is the moment where it all comes together. 1 story. 30 days. You changed. You grew. You didn't just study English. You lived it. That's what happened to me. After 30 days, I didn't feel like a student anymore. I didn't feel like a beginner. I felt like someone who could speak, understand, feel, and create in English. And you can feel the same. So don't wait. Start today. Use this story. Follow this plan. Repeat it with a new story next month, and next, and next. Your English will grow faster than you ever thought. You don't need 100 lessons. You just need 1 story. And the will to use it well. If this video helped you, please like it and share it with your friends. And tell me in the comments, are you ready to start your 30-day story challenge? I'll be reading every comment. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more real, simple, and powerful ways to learn English. Let's grow together. Your journey has just begun.